before it's too late.
Realistically, there are only two things which can save the orangutan. The first is female power. It's obvious to say that without female orangutans, the species is doomed. But it is the protection of the female which is the key to the species' survival.
The females are extremely important. So when a female is killed, that territory becomes empty. There will only be males left in that region. And it's very unlikely that a new female will come back to that territory where it has been hunted.
It hangs in the balance because females live only for 37 or 30 or 40 years in the wild. They conceive not before their 15th year. It takes them 6 to 8 years to raise their offspring.
And if you realize that in that period of 20 years, a mother will only raise 3 babies, it has to invest in them, how to move around the forest, what to eat, where to eat. It must know the complete calendar and the map of a forest before it can survive. So there's 7 to 8 years investment in one baby. Means 3, 1 to replace the mother, 1 to replace the father, and 1 extra just in case one gets sick and dies, or falls out of a tree and dies, or is eaten by a clouded leopard.
Well, as I said, they are the key. The females are the key because of the slow reproductive rate of the species and the fact that the female keeps her dependent infant with her for up to 9 or more years in the wild and only has one at a time. She is therefore the limiting factor. And the males can be going around and fathering lots of babies, but it is the female that's only going to have a few over her entire reproductive lifetime.
So the female orangutan is the critical factor if the species is to survive. And the biggest threat to the female is poachers.
In order to capture a baby orangutan, obviously they're killing the mother, and you've not only lost that mother and that baby, but you've lost the future potential of that mother as well.
You can see how easy it would be to kill this female for her baby. Her greatest defense when she feels threatened is to throw leaves and branches down on her would-be assailant. So what is being done to stop the poachers? Obviously not enough. So what is needed?
You need to have law enforcement. You need to have also extension to tell the people that they're not allowed to do this and that it's going to cause now trouble. Now all these little things, they cost money.
Which brings us to the second thing which will save the orangutan. Ironically, it's the same thing which is going to kill them off.
I think, yeah, it's hard to say who's to blame for this. People are making money out of it, and that's what has been the driving force behind it.
It's money which causes the destruction of the forest and the demise of the orangutan. And it's only money which can reverse this. Juana Reset is one of the most important, if not the most important, rehabilitation project in the world. Yet, it has little or no money.
The current financial position is not very good. If I remember correctly, today we may have money for another 10 days of operation of the station, so there's no buffer whatsoever. So far we have not gotten any significant support of any international organization involved with nature conservation.
The Indonesian government of course supports this project. This is a Ministry of Forest station, but the support needs to go beyond this. To underwrite a project like this involves huge amounts of money, especially with the number of orangutan they are keeping and expecting. There are around another 150 orangutans on the waiting list. Like so many conservation projects around the world, their biggest supporters are school children. Children throughout Indonesia and a few around the world have adopted an orangutan and keep up to date on the progress of their animal on the internet. But children alone can't save the orangutan.
Without the financial support of the world, the orangutan is absolutely doomed. The Indonesian government does what it can, but it needs a little bit of pushing power. It needs a little bit of extra financial support to overcome the problems of the different interests that also are with the forest, that also are with the land on which that forest grows. And if they feel supported, if the Indonesian government feels supported by the rest of the world, that this is something that we should keep on the world, they can do it, and they are all too happy to have advisors, to have people from all over the world helping them to do this. The orangutan is the species that shows that we are not alone. It is the species that shows that we have a history, that we have a shared history. The orangutan is part of me, as much as I'm part of the orangutan. We have the same brain, we have the same blood, we have the same body, we have the same behavior. It may show a little bit different here and there because I look different as it does. We have very similar potentials. It lives in an environment that science has now found out is tremendously important for the world. So the orangutan itself is important for this world because it shows us that this is our history. This is something that the world is about.
The whole point of managing the animals in captivity is to supplement conservation in the wild. I want them to exist in the wild. I don't just want them to be in captivity. I don't want to have to fall back on this.
So the experts say it's important for humanity to realize that what is happening to the orangutan is actually happening to us. The orangutan situation is a microcosm of what is happening to humanity. Because of human greed, the rainforests, the world's natural air conditioning, are being destroyed. This must ultimately affect us. We must understand that the orangutan is in fact a reflection of our own situation, and that if we allow the orangutan to become extinct, then we are allowing ourselves to travel down the same path. The experts say, be warned. If the orangutan succumbs to extinction, then the warning sirens will be screaming for humanity. If they are just hanging on, then so are we.